what I've really enjoyed about this journey is that a client doesn't need to make sense for me right now. Honestly, like if I'm talking to a client for the first time, like I tell them, like I'm not meant to hit a home run on my first at bat with you. I'm meant to coach you through when the outcomes are much more favorable for you, and they might be here in Q1 of 2026, or they might be in Q4 of 2028. And the reality is that they have to be frustrated enough with their current situation, cost soaring, and that 40% becomes a much more impactful number as their number keeps increasing by 10, 20, 30% every year. So it allows me to kind of play a patient long game with clients and really coach them through the entry point for the industry. And just being mindful that not everybody nor anybody really wants to make a payroll transition. So everything that I'm doing to create these outcomes needs to be justified in the impact it's felt to their bottom line and to their employees' pockets.
Okay, so that's interesting because you obviously own PairPEO, so there is this you have this freedom of how you approach sales, right? But before you started PairPEO, you were in corporate sales
Right.
with PEOs, right?
Yep. Yeah. So I started my journey with a corporate PEO selling as a direct rep, and that's the way that this industry has traditionally been bought. And so I didn't know any different. I'm going out calling on local employers, trying to go create some value and ultimately hope that they don't run away when they see my price tag after 3 meetings with me as a mid 20 something year old. That's a lot of windshield time. It's a lot of wasted effort. And the better you get at selling this direct, the more you're aware that you're in the wrong room. And so after being inside of a corporate ecosystem that had a very finite bullseye, right? That where I was in the right room, where the pricing was going to make sense and the impact was going to be right was very specific. And so after doing that for a couple of years, I just started being honest with prospects out the get-go. I'm like, I think I'm the wrong guy for you. And found that, walking away from deals that didn't make sense for my employer created allies, it created trust. Ultimately, that was absorbed into my current ecosystem as I launched the company and was able to broaden the bullseye of impact area that I could create by not being beholden to one specific player in the space.
So that was a big reason why you started PairPEO, right? Is to have that to, freedom, but also to be kind of the advocate and coach for
Yeah,
businesses, right?
it gets you out of the what call direct reps are challenged, and I was challenged with either selling things you didn't believe in or acknowledging that you're walking into dead ends all over and over again. Both those outcomes are completely damaging on your psyche. And any direct reps that work in this space are usually living in a less than 10% close rate. So that means like 90+% of their time is wasted on things that don't make sense for their employer. And in this world, again, because I can play a much more patient process and let clients come to their own conclusions when the math is really swinging in their favor, my conversion rates can be much higher, but also I'm working with clients that are wanting to make these transitions, not ones that I'm convincing to make these transitions.